Hello everybody, what's happening? Skydark here, good to see you all again. Yes, it's been a long time no see, and you might notice the change in my look. Yes, some of you may have think of me as like the next Jason Momoa or Post Malone. But I think I'm more compared to Jason Momoa. I think that's a more accurate look to it. Anyways, enough of that. We're going to talk about the year 2023. I have to be honest, 2023 was such an atrocious year. It was absolutely crap. It was literally the annus horribilis, which is Latin for horrible year. There you go. So I give you a fact here. Because let's face it, the past 3 years have been atrocious. Because when everybody was leaving 2019, they were all hopeful for 2020's decade to bring, lots of new exciting things. But then the COVID pandemic came, and that literally fucked everything up. I mean, the UK government had to bring in lockdown. Lockdown rules were enforced, and it was proving a lot of stress for everyone. And then when it was 2021, all the lockdown rules started to lift up a bit. But then the vaccine passports came. But 2022, February, they were abolished. Thank God for that, because it was just pointless. I mean, what's the point to them? But there comes a new thing. I don't know if some of you lot may have seen it, but the government was exposed for breaking their lockdown rules whilst everyone else was suffering. Now, I was in a company that specialises with medical equipment for the elderly and the vulnerable. So, like elderly people, people who've got some medical conditions and stuff like that, etc., etc. And I was basically delivering medical equipment at the time, whilst the Tory government was partying. Ridiculous, isn't it? And I've seen on one basis where one guy was fined a lot of money, whereas the Boris Johnson, who was Prime Minister at the time, it was only £530. Now you tell me, how is that even justified? Kind of goes to show that the justice system is completely fucked. But anyways, I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. And in year 2022, I was at a company that specialises in electrical waste. So basically stripping computers, servers, games consoles, nearly anything that is sort of like electrical in a way, really. And it was sort of like almost a bit of a reality check. I thought that 2022 was almost like a game changer, and it was sort of okay, but it wasn't great, it wasn't good, but there wasn't really anything exciting. But then came 2023, the company literally exposed its true colours and literally told me to go. I'm not going to dish out the name of that company because I'm going to be honest, that company, all they did was just do illegal practices, which I am not going to say because, obviously I have to be very careful what I say because people have eyes and ears everywhere. But yeah, they were just doing all sorts of things that were wrong and some things that weren't right. And completely, that's where everything went to shit. And I was just basically just trying to settle down. And to be honest, this year has just been problem after problem after problem after problem. And I used to have a Ford Focus. It was on a 15 plate. It was a 2-litre diesel. I bought it way back in 2020. It was fine for the last between 2020 to 2022. But near the end of 2022, it started fucking up. Came up with a check engine light. Turned out it was something wrong with DPF. Got it fixed and it was fine. But then in September, it decided to be a pain in the ass. And it turns out there was a lot of faults. It was just constant problem after problem after problem. It ruined everything. It completely fucked up half of a year. It was just a complete fuck up of that car. But it's gone now. I got scrapped for good. Because I'll tell you one thing, that car, I am never buying a fix or repair daily, or a new save for Ford, found on road, dead. So yeah, and also there are some companies that I've been in and out. Did a brief stint of traffic management, didn't really enjoy it. Then I was in a scaffold hire company. They were just disorganised. They couldn't even run a bath. Then I was emptying the bins. Only lasted 2 weeks because they were just arseholes and all they cared about was money in their pockets. And then tour hire company, which I just left because they were just non-sympathetic. And this definitely does go to show how companies just do not care about their employees. You know, this year, all I have seen was just piss poor management. Management that couldn't even run a bath to save their own life. You know, and there was no sympathy for their colleagues whatsoever. All they did, all they have done is just basically try to make money in every way they possibly can. They try to scrounge it off from, you know, from people's pockets. I mean, we have had the costs of living. I mean, the gas bills, electricity bills, water bills, and fuel prices. Everything was going up through the roof. It was like the same last year. People were struggling. I mean, when I was, you know, doing a little bit of Christmas shopping, I didn't really see much people out there. I mean, it wasn't as busy as it used to be back then, but I'll tell you one thing. You know, it kind of goes to show how people have become selfish nowadays. You know, I mean, okay, let me tell you a bit more about myself, alright? I mean, I was basically diagnosed with high-functioning autism since I was 3 years old. I didn't really think much of it back then, but now, looking back at it, I can't see why my behaviour was just not really right. But it's just some of the companies that just don't understand how I work and how I operate. But the thing is, you know, I don't mess about. You know, I don't sell my arse just waiting for things to come to me. I just try to get sorted out myself. You know, I try to work it out. But some companies, they just say, oh, you know what, you, oh, it's like, yeah, we basically, oh, no, don't do it, I'm doing that, yeah. Oh, just, I'll tell you what, that really infuriates me. It just, you know, why is it that companies just don't care about their employees, especially the ones who have got autism? You know, autism is a learning disability and it's also a neurodivergent condition. So based on neurodivergent, if you like. I mean, unfortunately, that's what I'm saying. Some companies just see me differently. And, you know, yes, I'm different. Yes, I'm unique in a way. But that doesn't change anything. All that matters about is someone who's got a great work ethic, someone who doesn't sit on his ass, someone who gets things done and has good banter. It really pains me, you know. And, you know, with some companies that just don't care and they want you to work Monday to Friday. And it just really, you know, this is why people just don't get who I am or how I act and how I operate. I think there should need to be a law in place to protect autistic people in a place of work. Yeah? It should be called, well, I'm not going to basically say it, but it needs to be a new law to protect autistic people. So let's say, for example, I mean, you know the Equality Act 2010 to protect, you know, people with disabilities and all sorts? My law should be that if anyone else is found bullying or discriminating against someone with autism in a workplace, the company should be fined. The company should be made responsible. And people should have a voice rather than just like suffering silence. I mean, Obviously, my mental health throughout this year has been really shit. I mean, but I'm glad that there seems to be a bit more awareness, but people are still disregarding against it. But there's a but. I mean, if people are still going to be against men's mental health and say, oh, men are just like machines, they don't have mental health issues, they are capable of dealing with themselves. The truth is, men are human beings. They're not robots. We're not programmed to be like robots. Men are just made to feel like they're just man enough or macho, like they're big, strong, and, you know, they can deal with problems head on. But the truth is, men are human beings. They're not macho. Doesn't matter what image they show themselves or the status that they present themselves as. I mean, men are just human beings. Because despite the smile that they show, or they say that they're okay, etc., you don't know the battle that they're fighting inside their heads. We should all be there for the lads. That's all I should say. Just be there for the lads. Check up on them. You know, invite them for like coffee or anything like that. Well, or just pub or whatever. But for this business that ruined my life throughout this whole year, I am not going to give out the name. Because like I said, for privacy reasons, I have to be very careful because of eyes and ears. And people are being snowflakes in this generation. Here's what I'm going to say. For the company that specialises in electrical waste, that wants to make money in some stupid ways and not getting their act together, I'm going to say this one simple thing. You know, that company, you know, I could have gone and sued the hell out of that company. I could have gone and sued some of the companies that discriminate against me just because of my autism. You know, that's what I could have done. That's what I could have easily done. You know, sue a company that discriminates against people with autism. You know, it's a disgrace. You know, I think companies just need to learn about how autistic people work. Put special training in place for every single company to learn about an individual with autism. That's what my law should be. I'll tell you what, 2023 has literally destroyed me as a person. But I am still here. Still fucking standing. Still fighting. And I ain't going down. I know I have my mental health struggles. I know I suffer with depression and anxiety. I know I'm autistic. But I am still doing everything I can to make sure that I'm happy and healthy as much as I can. I know that I have struggled throughout this whole year. This whole year has been atrocious, left, right, centre. 2023 just chewed me up and spat me out like some piece of shit. But I want to thank everyone. Give a massive thank you to everyone who has been there for me. To all my loyal supporters. To all friends and family. I could have done it without you. I just literally couldn't. Because, you know, I could have exacted my revenge on a company that sacked me just because of my condition. But, you know, I could have done something. Like, basically, you know, destroy the van, smash up their place and do things like that. But you know what? I just don't think I would be able to do it. I wouldn't do it. I definitely would have exacted revenge from my school. You know, for treating me badly because of the way I am. But you know what? I think it's time I moved on. I think it's time to move on and try and be a better version of me. I mean, 2020, 2021 and 2022, those past 3 years, it was just atrocious. I mean, 2022 was okay, but 2021 and 2020 were just really tough years. And this year has been really tough for me. But I'm still here, still standing. It's because it's all thanks to you guys. Anyways, well, I think that's it for this video. Sorry if I did ramble on a little bit, and obviously saying things a bit out of context, and, you know, saying things that weren't, like, didn't make any logical sense. But all I'm going to say is thank you to everyone. Thank you to all the subscribers, to all the loyal supporters. I can't thank you more than enough. We're going to be drinking. Hopefully this New Year's Eve will be bigger than last year. And hopefully 2024 will bring better and good things. And I hope it will be a much better improvement than the year we're in now. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll see you in the new year. Hopefully. Until then, I'll see you soon.